It seems like you guys are switching to OLED panels at the moment, but most of the 27-inch panels you guys have spoken about or upgraded to are 1440p OLEDs, like the ROG Strix XG27AQ DMG that we checked out last year. This year is the year of the 27-inch 4K OLED. It's the same size, but with double the pixel density. This is the all-new ROG Swift PG27 UCDM. It's a 27-inch 4K 240Hz QD OLED panel that, to put it quite simply, this thing's pretty special. Let's not dance around the price. The ROG Swift PG27 UCDM will set you back around about 1,100 USD or around about 2,100 Aussie dollars at the time of filming this video. This is around the same price as the MSI MPG 272 URX in the US. In Australia, it's about $300 more than the MSI monitor, but more on that later. The PG27 UCDM features the same 26.5-inch 3840 by 2160 Samsung QD OLED panel that the MSI 272 URX uses, with a refresh rate of 240 Hz, with a peak brightness of over 1000 nits. The PG27 UCDM has a response time of 0.03 milliseconds gray to gray. It is fully G-Sync and FreeSync compatible. It's a 10-bit panel that supports 99% of the DCI-P3 color space and 145% of the sRGB color space. Because it uses a Samsung QD OLED panel, it has a 1.5 million to 1 contrast ratio, and it also has HDR, which is pretty standard for all OLED panels. The PG27 UCDM has standard 100mm VESA mounting on the rear by the included adapter. You shouldn't have any issues using this adapter to mount the monitor to any mounting solution. The included stand is fully height, tilt, swivel, and rotation adjustable. As far as connectivity, it features two HDMI 2.1 ports, a single DisplayPort 2.1 port, USB Type-C that supports DisplayPort Alt and 90-watt PD charging, a 5GB USB Type-B uplink port, three 5GB USB Type-A ports, and a 3.5mm headphone jack. The build quality of the PG27 UCDM is excellent. It's very premium. However, if I have one comment, it's got to be that monitor stand. It's just so cumbersome. There's no reason for the monitor stand to be this big. On the other hand, that massive ROG logo on the rear has kind of grown on me. I don't hate it. I know in the past that I've complained about that red ROG logo in the center of the screen always being on and it being super distracting, but I'm a dummy. You can turn it off pretty easily. I hear you guys. I just didn't know, all right? Lifespan and things to help extend that are a major sticking point, especially with people and OLED monitors. The ROG Swift PG27 UCDM has a 3-year warranty that includes burn-in. This is a very standard warranty that almost everyone is offering at this point. However, if you watch one other video today, do me a favor and watch Tim from Monitors Unboxed and his really interesting 1-year burn-in test with the MSI 321 URX QD OLED. It's a really interesting look at how OLEDs burn in with regular usage and not trying to save the panel, but watch it after this though. The PG27 UCDM also features a KVM. Internal KVMs, for me at least, have become a must-have feature. And if I'm being honest, a few of the ASUS KVM implementations have been a little bit strange with how it passes your USB devices through, but I'm happy to report that the implementation here is very good. For gaming, the PG27 UCDM is awesome. Much like the MSI MPG 272 URX, the performance is impressive. It's really hard to translate that to video, but this panel visually, because of that pixel density, is insanely good. Gaming feels responsive, and even though this is only a 27-inch panel, the experience is just different to anything else. I had a chat with my friend Adam at PC World the other day about this panel, and we were just casually talking about stuff, and he also came to a similar conclusion with this panel, as well as the same conclusion I had with the MSI MPG 272 URX. These 27-inch 4K 240Hz OLEDs are in a league of their own in terms of fidelity. There's almost nothing like it. The out-of-the-box calibration is spot on, even to the point where I would recommend this panel for content creation. I didn't need to adjust any settings on this panel at all. The colors are excellent. The HDR experience is also very good. That's mainly how I game it anyway. It's the same experience that you're going to find with any other QD OLED panels out there, but it's not just any other QD OLED panel. To be very honest with you guys, after using lots of OLEDs, you start to notice that the newer generation panels are better than the generation before, but that's me being purely non-technical. You can physically see the difference, but that's me who sees lots of these panels all the time. And I'm not like everyone else. The general consensus for regular people who aren't pixel peeping or going down an endless rabbit hole of why something is better than the other is that whether it's QD OLED or WOLED, all of these monitors are good. Simple as that. They all look good, especially to people who haven't experienced something like this before. For those who have experienced it, they see the 27-inch 4K OLEDs and they're seeing something that they haven't seen before, and it's like they're seeing OLED for the first time again. The pixel density really changes the game here. What I'm saying is that almost all current and previous generation OLED, QD OLED, and WOLED displays are great. While it's perfectly fine to obsess over all of the technical details and get lost in the WOLED versus OLED versus QD OLED debate and trying to ascertain what is the best panel by watching a YouTube video, also, while every single number known to man at your fingertips about a monitor is there and those numbers aren't always tangible, the quality of these panels just does not translate to a video. Don't worry guys, I'm guilty of this too. I go down endless rabbit holes and side quests all the time. This whole section of the video is exactly that. In fact, that's the whole reason why this channel exists in the first place. Ultimately, when it comes to something like the ROG Swift PG27UCDM, the only real consideration is the pricing, especially at a 27-inch size, because this is a great panel. At 27 inches, there are so many options out there, so pricing and resolution are just about the only factors at the moment, especially when it comes to the ROG Swift PG27UCDM. I know I just repeated myself a whole bit, but I really need you guys to think about all of this logically. Also, I'm going to be a bit cheeky here too. There are more panels from other vendors coming sooner than you think at this size and this resolution with this refresh rate, so make sure you're subscribed. That kind of leads me into who the PG27UCDM is for. Some people don't want a huge 32-inch panel or a larger panel on their desk at all. Maybe you don't have the space for it. Maybe you want a 27-inch panel with a higher pixel density, or maybe, just maybe, you want a 4K 27-inch OLED. Or maybe you're like me. I want a monitor that does it all, and the ROG Swift PG27UCDM does it all. It does absolutely everything except save you money. So I guess the question is, if you've decided to spend this kind of money, are you getting any value out of it? Because this is not a budget panel. Well, at 1100 USD, it's crazy to say this, but I've got to say yes, considering at the time of filming this, you only really have two great options. Either the ROG Swift PG27UCDM or the MSI MPG 272 URX. However, if you're in Australia, this is a completely different story. The PG27UCDM is $300 more than the MSI MPG 272 URX, and to that I'd say, based purely on the price alone, that the MSI panel is better value. On the flip side of that, if both panels were the same price here in Australia, you could go either way. I said this about the 272 URX as well, but for the longest time there's been a bit of a gap in the market for a really nice panel like this, but now you've got three really good options. Did I just say three? Don't tell Alienware.